from Miller Park Zoo. So glad that you could join us again. We're loving these live chats that we can do with you guys. I'm Shannon, and this is Amada. Amada is our very fabulous three-banded armadillo. Her name is a version of a Spanish word that means lovely. I'll let you decide what you think about that. She is lovely in her own way. She's an interesting looking animal, but a little weird. She admits that. She's a funny looking thing, but she's a sweetheart. She has lived here her whole life. She was born here at the zoo. Her birthday is actually June 30th, so coming up on that. She is 10 years old already at this point, so she's been working here at the zoo for the last 10 years doing programs. That's her big, her favorite thing, to be honest. She's all about running around, all about visiting, seeing new things, seeing new people. So let me tell you about this three-banded armadillo. These guys are so funky and really cool. So you can see she's got these plates, we call them, on her body. She's got one on her head. It's kind of a triangle shape. She's got a big one here across the top of her back and another one here on the back side, really big. Her tail's a bunch of little tiny plates. It makes it a little bit bendy. And in the middle, she has 3 strips of plates, bands, like a headband that kind of goes across the body, but not all the way around. Well, those are separated, and that helps her to be bendy, because you might notice she has a very fluffy, yummy, squishy belly. And if you're a predator, you're not gonna start with this hard plate. You're not gonna be able to get through that very easily, but you're gonna wanna start with this squishy belly. So what does she have to do? Well, let's do an experiment. I hope that there's some little ones at home watching today. Grown-ups, what I want you to do is I want you to tickle your little ones. Tickle them, go ahead. Get in that belly. What did you do, little ones, to try to keep from getting tickled? We protect the belly, right? We curl up, we hide it. Well, that's what armadillos do too. There are about 12 different species of armadillos in the world, ranging from, she's one of the smallest, the three-banded is one of the smallest, all the way to giant armadillos, but they all have that same defensive posture. They curl up, fetal position. But a three-banded armadillo is just the right dimensions, that when she curls up, and you gotta do your trick, she has one trick. You ready for it? Here it is. Oh, come on. I know she's so excited to see you guys. She doesn't want to do it, but here we go. She can curl herself all the way up. And her head and her tail are both triangles. They fit side by side, just like a puzzle. Now, if she were to feel danger, if she were to feel like she was threatened, she would curl up and roll just like this and just lay there. Does she look like food now? Not so much. Now she looks more like a piece of the environment, a rock, a coconut, something that's not really food for a predator. She'll sit there and keep that tight grip, and in fact, she's got very strong muscles, so she's able to keep her ball as long as she wants to. Honestly, I'm keeping her closed right now because she's excited and wants to come out. But we have to be careful when we deal with these armadillos, when we pick them up. If they are startled, they might curl real quickly and our fingers can get stuck in here. If they do, we don't get them back until they want to give them back. It's just, we can't get that open. We're not strong enough. Okay, you ready? Ta-da! That's her big finale, the big finish. So there's a few facial features you might notice. You see, she's got eyes. These guys are nocturnal, and sometimes nocturnal animals have very big eyes for good vision, not armadillos. They have very poor vision, in fact. In the day or the night, they're not good at seeing. I always say it's a good thing to have a plate on their head. It's like a helmet. Sometimes they do run into stuff. But she has very large ear flaps. So she's got these great listening ears. So those will catch all kinds of sounds that are coming her way. She's also got a phenomenal nose. And you can tell by, we'll put her down here in a minute, you can see how she moves, but this is her natural body position. So where is her nose? It is on the ground. And that's where she needs it. These guys are able to smell an earthworm that's 6 inches under the dirt. What do earthworms smell like? Dirt, right? So she can smell a worm that smells like dirt through 6 inches of dirt and know exactly where to start digging and find that food. She's going to be listening for invertebrates like termites and ants and wiggly decomposers. She really likes those things in the rotten logs in the rainforest where she would live. So she's going to be listening for those little sounds that she can hear and know exactly where to break open a rotten log. She can dig up things in the ground. You can see she's got these amazing claws on her front feet. Her mom's name was actually Azada, which is a Spanish word for a shovel, a digging tool. And that's exactly what they are. They're little shovels. And they're very strong. They're quite strong. She can scratch and scrape. She doesn't need to do that for defense. That's not their defense. That's the balling up and camouflage. But these are for getting food, digging a nice little recess in the ground to sleep in, finding a shelter, just kind of creating that with her claws. So those claws are super important. Also important for getting one of her very favorite foods. One of their very favorite foods is eggs. They will hunt for eggs. If they find eggs, they love it. So they can use these to crack that egg open, and then use their long snout. Her mouth is actually very big. Her jaw actually opens to right under her eye. So if you can see that line on her face, show us your face. You can see where that mouth would open. It's very large, actually. And she's got a long tongue in there. These are in the same family as anteaters and sloths. One of my favorite words, Xenarthra. That's a great hangman word. So many good hangman words at the zoo. So it's an X word too, which is super cool. So those Xenarthrans, what they have are these claws, these very long claws in the front feet. So think about the animals that have those. Anteaters, aardvarks, sloths, pangolins, armadillos. And just like all of those, they have a long tongue, those anteaters and aardvarks. They don't have a sticky tongue, the armadillos. It's just kind of moist, just like ours would be. But it still can help them pick up those little insects that they're going to find in the rotten logs, under the rocks they might roll over. It's a great way to find food. Not that she won't eat fruits if she finds them and she likes them. They do, she does enjoy fruits from time to time. She likes grapes. She likes to roll them first, puncture them, and then take a bite. So what do you say we watch her walk? Sound good? And then we'll see what your questions are today.
Yeah, we got a lot of good questions already.
Awesome.
We're talking about her nails. Valerie wants to know if we ever have to clip her nails.
Oh, well, Eric is a good person to answer that question. Eric is her keeper, so I'm going to let you take that one.
Yeah, actually, we do have to clip her nails from time to time. If she was out in the wild, she would be walking everywhere. She would be digging, ripping open trees and things like that, or dead wood, to get into her, to get to those termites and stuff. So her nails would keep being worn down. But while she's here at the zoo, she doesn't get out as much, and obviously she's walking on carpet, so they do keep growing, and every once in a while we do have to clip her nails. She doesn't like it. She wants to curl up, and like Shannon said, when she curls up, you can't really get to her nails. So what we found is that if we put her in a dish drainer and she doesn't want to curl up, and her feet will go through, and then we can clip her nails from underneath. So that's what we have to do. Grace's mom is watching and wants to know how much she weighs.
Again, a great question for Eric.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember last time I weighed her what she was. She, I think, is about 2 kilograms, which I think she's about 5 pounds when you come down to it. I think that's about what she weighs.
So about 3 Happy Meal bags with the cheeseburger. And the toy's still in the bag.
Right. Lots of Shannon's family are watching. So
hey guys.
Christine's watching.
Hey,
and
Chrissy.
Who else? Spencer and Nan, I think, are watching.
Awesome. Hi, Spencer. Hey, Nan.
Let's see. Where's that other question? Eli wanted to know if they eat fruit. You answered that question. Where did that question go? I'm sorry. Oh, Tammy has a really, really good question. Why is her stomach so hairy?
Great question. Well, they are mammals, so they have hair, just like all the mammals do, or almost all of them do. And that hair, really what it does is kind of protects her skin. It's pretty bristly hair under there, actually. It's not really soft. It's not really fluffy. Instead, it's pretty bristly. So it acts to protect her belly, because you can imagine if you're that close to the ground, you're going to be scraping, all kinds of things. And she's walking on the floor of the forest. So if you've ever walked through the woods, hopefully you have. If you haven't, that's your homework. You have to, you want to wear long pants. You want to cover your feet because otherwise you're going to get scratches and scrapes from just the twigs, the sticks, the plants that are growing down there. And she would have the same problem only with her belly. And that would obviously be an issue. And in the wild, you can get infected very easily. So the hair is a protecting kind of a device for these guys for their belly. And it's very bristly. And that's because it doesn't want to get matted. If she can't really reach her belly at all to groom. So if it gets matted, if it gets dirty, she can't do anything about it. And imagine there's a rock stuck under there, and now she curls up really quickly, and now she has this rock poking into her belly. That's going to be uncomfortable. She's not going to want to stay curled up, and she needs to for protection. So there's a few different things going on with that hair.
Christine says she sees a lot of armadillos in Florida, and she wonders if they're the same type as this one.
Great question, Chrissy. These are 3-banded. The ones that are in Florida, the South United States, are 9-banded, so they're bigger. They're quite a bit larger than these animals are. Instead of having 3 of those bands, they're going to have 9 of them. That kind of makes sense, right? They've also got a bit different body structure. They're basically the same, but they have a long tail. They'll have a longer nose that comes down past that helmet head. They have bigger stick-up ears as well. And their plates are just a little bit different. There's a different texture to them. There's a few differences as well. One of my favorite things to talk about with armadillos is reproduction, because armadillos are just so weird when it comes to having babies. The 3-banded armadillos have 1 baby always. No such thing as twins or triplets. They just have 1 always. But the 9-banded armadillos from the United States, they have 4 always. Always 4, and they're always the same gender. No mix and matches with boys and girls. It's always all 4 boys or 4 girls. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's all from the same egg, isn't it? Isn't it the egg divides 4 times, so they're always quadruplets?
Exactly.
Loretta wants to know how long they live for.
Well, the average lifespan is 12 to 15 years. So she's starting to enter her twilight. Not quite there yet. You can tell she's very energetic, very active, and she's very healthy.
Your mom and dad are watching, Shannon.
Hello, Mom and Dad.
So be on your best behavior. Loretta wants to know if they eat pizza.
Pizza. Well, I have never tried giving her pizza, and I kind of am the give them treats kind of girl here in Zulab. What about you, Eric?
Pizza's not something I usually bring down here for the animals because it's not really very healthy for them.
No, there's a lot of processed stuff in that. Now, if you took off the vegetables and gave her those, she might like that. But cheese is really bad for most animals. And the bread is also not necessarily the healthiest. It's not going to be found in the wild, so it's not something we're going to want to provide for them here.
Wow, we're getting a lot of great questions today. Gretel wants to know, what sounds do they make?
Not a lot. They're very, very quiet. I've heard some grunts, a few little squeaks, but really, honestly, not much. Not from her mouth. Now, her plates hitting the walls and the rocks and things like that are going to make some noise.
Yeah, usually hear her bumping around more than anything.
Right.
Danny wants to know what the cause of death for most of them. Is it old age or is there something else?
Oh, well, that's a great question. In zoos, old age is really what you're going to find with these guys. They're not really susceptible to cancers or other specific diseases, so that's a wonderful thing. She does like knees, you can see. Out in the wild, they are near threatened. These are a threatened species. And mostly it's due to habitat loss. They are primarily rainforests. They can edge into the grasslands because they do eat a variety of things, so it's nice they don't have a very particular biome. They can spread a bit, so that gives them some alternatives. But they do need to occupy some rainforest, and that unfortunately, there's human encroachment that's gone on, people building roads and homes and just doing other things with the environment, the habitats the animals need to live in. So that's one of the biggest issues for these guys in South America.
Spencer wants to know if it's ever bitten you, if she's ever bitten you.
Hey, Spencer, great question, man. And of course you would want to know that answer. You're always thinking about stuff like that. No, she's never bitten me. She's never even tried. These guys really, all the armadillos I've ever worked with are really very gentle animals. If they're going to do anything, they're going to scratch me with the claws. Not really on purpose, but just because they get super excited, kind of like you do when we play.
Let's see. Gosh, I'm trying to keep track of all the good questions. Thad wants to know how big they can get.
This is it.
Yeah.
And in fact, they grow really fast. When they're born, they're about the size of a tennis ball, maybe a little bit smaller. And but they have these plates on their body already. So let me talk about the plates just for a second, what they're made of. They're actually like giant calluses is what they are. They are skin, and then there's keratin, which is your fingernails, the same material as your fingernails, your hair, that hardens up, and it mixes with that skin, and it just kind of creates this hard plate. So it's not made of bone, it's really more hardened skin, almost like a callus. So when they're born, they actually have the form of the plates. You can see the skin, but it's really flexible. There's no keratin yet because they aren't fully grown, and once that keratin is set, they can't grow anymore. So they actually get to be this big at 2 months old, just 2 months. So they're one of the fastest growing mammals. Mammals usually take a while to get adult size, not these guys. And then that keratin can harden up, and they will have their protection that they need.
All right. Tammy wants to know if they can eat fast.
Yeah, they can if they want to. And when you're eating those ants and termites in the wild, you really need to be quick because they are quick as well. Plus, they're small, so you really need to eat a lot to get nourishment out of them. So they're going to be really quick to get. And you can see she is a pretty fast mover. She's got quick sudden movement, which is really helpful in catching those fast little things. When she's eating something new or here at the zoo, she knows that her food's not going to disappear. She knows that she's the only one that gets it. So she might be more leisurely about it, save a little for breakfast. Since she's nocturnal, she gets her diet in the evening, and then she'll eat it overnight.
All right, I think we're going to take one more question. And a couple people have asked if they make good pets or if you could buy them as pets.
Oh, thanks for asking that question. You've kind of got me on my soapbox now, though. So armadillos are not pet animals. They're not an animal intended to be a pet, and this particular species is threatened. It would be illegal for you to do so. She is obsessed with my feet, I gotta tell you that. She gives me little petties now and again. They would be a terrible pet anyway. These claws that they're using, they're not afraid to dig on anything. I shouldn't say this out loud because my boss might be listening. But when I'm in my office and I'm just working, I sometimes just let her come in and roam around and play and get some exercise. And she has, with her claws, ripped a little hole in my drywall because she's just smelling something and she wants to investigate it. So it's really very natural, normal behavior, but it's very destructive to a home environment. So it's not an animal that you would ever want to have in your house.
Right. And the 9-banded ones, the ones you find in Missouri on south into Florida, those are also a carrier of leprosy, which these guys aren't as much. You don't have to worry about getting leprosy from her. I don't want anyone to be afraid. But so that's not something you want to bring into your house either, is the potential that you could have that. All right. So
Say goodbye, Amada.
we say goodbye. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next Sunday. And don't forget, if you donate on the donate button down there, we'll put you in the drawing for that cool Tamando painting from yesterday. Awesome. So see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.